What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. He is DMac, Darren McCarty. No Joik Bell today, but here's who we do have rolling with us. Detroit sports media icon, T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house. And T-Foss, look, you get a round of applause. You know what I'm saying?
I'm happy to be in the chair.
I know you are. I know you're just happy to be here and everything like that, T-Foss, but you know, you get the standing O from everybody here at Big D
beautiful.
Energy.
I'll take it.
What's the chapeau? It's always a chapeau. You always got to look for what Terry is repping and rocking. I know Fish is a big fan, but the hat game is always on point, bro.
No, it certainly it is.
Yeah, it's got a couple new beanies. My son is trying to get this one from me.
Ooh, see, now you're, wow, fashion, fashionista. There you go.
Because he usually makes fun of all my clothes.
But now you, so let me ask you, how old's your son?
He is 19.
Okay, so now he's into that next level, right? So
yeah.
Neal, we could tell him because Neal's son's 14, so he's not into that. He's out of that.
He's just getting on the fringes of it.
But he's out of the dork and looking like, oh, my dad, he's got some game.
Right.
We all know
No.
T-Foss got some game, but well, that's the whole thing. Sometimes our kids are the last one to realize that your parents are cool. Right? Exactly, a different way, but it starts with the hat game.
I just need my wife to recognize
it's funny.
that.
Other kids like you and say, hey, how you doing, Mr. Fox? What's up?
Right.
And then your kids are like, whatever.
Or you'll notice as they get older, some of your kids' friends might start, oh, man, where'd you get the shirt? Where'd you get this? And start talking to realize your shirt game. Like your shirt game is cool. Your Friday shirt game, your throwbacks and stuff.
Vintage tee, yeah.
But the young, you can tell that they're maturing into men more than anything. So that's good. But
they're being exposed to more things.
Yeah.
And they find out it's cool.
Yep.
Absolutely. No, but we do have a big-time show lined up for you guys here today. The Detroit Lions had the greatest bye week in the history of the NFL. I'll explain.
I got to call into Guinness.
Yeah.
I do.
I'll explain. We need that validated. Michigan State falls at Purdue. We talked about it, DMac. Now, look, I knew that the pass defense was the pass defense, and out of 130 college football teams, they're 130th. And T-Foss, I'm sorry, it's just not going to get it done, man. It's not. You can win a game, but you can't win for the long haul like that.
No, and they just smacked them. I mean, you have a game where you can't stop them, period. They're just doing whatever they want to do. And, you know, it's like they weren't going up the field. Everything was dunk and dink.
Yeah.
And I heard some people complaining, well, Michigan State should have pressured their quarterback more. Every time they did that, he just threw a little short pass, and they would get 20, 30 yards on it. So they had no answer for that guy.
No, they certainly did not. We're going to get into that discussion as well. Detroit Red Wings, a couple of wins over the weekend. College football reset, NFL football reset, get you caught up with everything that went on. But before we do get into that, we touched on this last week, and I'm a person that has had enough of the daylight savings. Just pick one and go. All right, just pick one and go. And once again, it happened. And look, I'll be the first to raise my hand.
And once again, it happened. What do you?
I'll
what do
raise
you
my
always
hand.
say? It'll end. It always ends. It always comes up. It's gonna come to a point, no matter what it is. But
yeah, you know, for me, it happened again, and I'll raise my hand and tell you guys this: I understand that I'm getting old. I do. I understand that there's physical limitations involved and everything, and I get it. I understand. I had a late Saturday night trying to get everybody right where I failed the people. And hey, I'll look into the camera coming up in just a little bit, and I'll answer those accusations, and I'll admit the truth. But T-Foss, this daylight savings thing, I fell asleep at 9:15 last night. 9:15. I haven't done that since I was probably in junior high, and every year it gets worse. But this daylight savings thing, can we just pick one and go with it? Please?
No, we can't.
Why?
Because I like a different view of the day every 6 months. It's something and you know what the great thing is? In the summer, we still outside like at 9 o'clock at night with the sun up. So I'm down with that.
You want me to get them?
Right.
Yeah.
Get them.
Neal,
Sick them.
Neal, you know those summertime golf we were talking about, those late night 9, 10 o'clock?
My favorite in the world.
If you do not switch the clocks, you'll be the latest you can play is like 7:30.
Not if you just keep the summer one the one.
But then if that is, then you got Christmas is 9 o'clock in the morning. The sun comes up or whatever like that.
Cool.
you're good with
I'm
that?
fine, 100%
so you
fine with
You
that.
want to move it later? I'm more.
No, you know what
I'm
he
more
wants?
with you.
He wants the Predators to snatch our children in the morning. That's what he wants.
See, T-Foss, like everybody talks about that, and they say it's the kids walking to school. They've been doing it for over a month now anyway. Going on 2 months they've been doing it. So
Okay,
what's different?
let's
So all of a
not-
sudden now we got to change
let's
it.
not take a
now
chance
it's a
on it.
problem. No, don't
Because now it's colder and the Predators.
don't tell me that
cold
it's
in the
fine
big-
for 8 weeks, and now all of a sudden we have to change it. Whatever fits the narrative.
It's not for 8 weeks. The sun is still sort of out, and then they pick a time where it's best to do it.
Is he complaining that he got more sleep? Are you complaining?
Yeah, he went to sleep. Boy, I wish I had to sleep. Because I'm up all the time. I wish I could sleep like you, fella.
Well, fortunately for me, I was
CBN,
able to
Terry.
stay awake to see Matt Stafford's second interception, and then I just kind of tapped out. It's
What-
almost like the
wait a
Rams
sec.
played a team with a winning record yesterday. T-Foss,
Or maybe Matthew Stafford celebrated the bye with the Lions.
maybe he did.
He didn't show up.
His biological clock didn't switch with daylight saving, but he's on Lions
That's what
time.
happens.
Okay, here we go. Jamie on our YouTube chat thread. Remember, you can get involved if you're watching on the YouTube channel. We have a constant chat thread that's running. You guys fire off the messages. We certainly do appreciate it. Our social media handles are on the screen as well. And also, too, if you're listening on the radio, big what up, though, everyone on 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 HD2 on our YouTube chat thread. Neal is right on this one. Thank you. I appreciate. Ryan says daylight saving was for cow farmers back in the day. Robert says Arizona doesn't
Are there no
change
more
their
cow
clocks.
farmers?
And that's another
And
thing.
then-
Terry.
you know what? Nice
That's
out
how
in
I
Arizona.
know.
And Arizona's trying to steal our vote. Don't give me this Arizona crap.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So, all right, fine. Half of Indiana does it. The other, come on. This is just a clown show at this point.
Indiana is a clown show. It is.
T-Foss,
Wait a
I'm
sec.
giving you examples as to
didn't
why
West
this.
Lafayette just hand it to us?
They did.
They did.
They turned
So
that
it
pass
can't be
defense into a clown show.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the state. You want to live in Indiana?
No, God, no, no way.
Bam.
Unless it was Indianapolis. Indianapolis is a cool town, and you know
It's a
that.
fine
Foss.
town. Have fun there.
Michigan fans don't know, but trust me, it's a cool town.
There he goes, taking that shot again.
Factual statement.
Daylight
How would they
savings
know?
time.
How would Michigan fans know if Indianapolis is a cool town? How would they know?
Well, they've been
Didn't their
there
basketball
for
team
the
go there?
Final Four,
Yeah.
maybe. No, they haven't been there for the Final Four.
No, boo.
That is true. The Big
was
Ten,
that a
the Big Ten
backhand one?
basketball tournament's been
Big
there.
Ten basketball
That's
tournament's
fair.
been there.
That's fair.
It's just not for football. And there you go, your daily Michigan shot that you take.
Oh, don't worry. There's more coming
Oh,
later.
I know. I'm sure it is.
No, but happy to have everybody along for the ride. Chris says daylight savings time was not for farmers. That's an old wives' tale. And that's the other thing about it. Wait, where's the logic? I still haven't been explained to why, like, people say, oh, it's the farmers, and people like Chris say, no, it's not the farmers, it's the kids, it's not the kids. It's all right for the kids to be in the dark for 60
Okay,
days, but
here's
not
what
the
you
rest of the
need to
time.
understand. Public doesn't know stuff. They hear stuff and they kind of follow stuff and you know whatever fits their narrative. People don't know what they're talking about. Keep it the way it is. I like it. Damn it.
Skipper says that Florida voted. But I guess our flaw in our logic there is we're listening to anything that Florida has contributed to.
Okay.
But with all that being said, Skipper Stone says Florida voted against it. It was approved by the state. Then the federal government was like, no, you keep doing it. Rack says, I'm with you, Neal. I leave the house at 6:30 a.m. My neighbor's kid is leaving the same time, and it was dark as night for the last month and a half. And Rack, that's my point is don't tell me it's for the kids, but it's okay to do it for 6 to 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me that, Terry. Why all of a sudden is it a big problem?
Well, they just have a set time to do it because we have to spring forward and fall back. We have to have something we could follow, so I'm okay with it.
I'm needing
You know
something
what?
more, Terry.
You know what's wrong with you today? You really aren't mad about anything, but you got to find something to complain
I don't get
about.
mad.
Yes, you
Terry,
do.
you're the one that gets mad about stuff, not me.
No, I don't get mad. I get passionate. There's a difference. I got passion. I'm not angry.
See,
damn.
I get that's what it is, Terry. I get louder as I get more passionate.
So I just seem angry, but I'm not angry.
No, you're never angry. You got way too much. It's all that knowledge.
You're still my
coming
little
out.
buddy.
Yeah. Whoa, that was a good shot.
Yeah.
Anyways, but how long is this? Is it ever going to be decided? Do you think we'll ever go to a one standard time?
Never.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, look at us, right? DMac, look at us as a society right now. Do you think we can come together on anything, man?
Well, here's the you're right. And here's the thing. It's like we're gonna argue about it for 2 days, and then we're gonna forget about it because the clocks and everybody's gonna get into the routine.
That's true.
I think it comes down to personal choice, and I think I'm more with Terry, than anything. It really doesn't affect my day. It goes by the clock. What I'm grateful for is I didn't realize until I got in my car and I noticed some people online saying the car radio messes you up, because when you set your alarm in the morning, if you did like me on your phone, well, you automatically...
It changes by itself.
Right?
Yeah.
So your day sort of started, and we mentioned to do a lot of yard work. Sawyer mentioned he was doing a lot of yard work. I go, how's your weekend? He goes, it sucked, man, all yard work. And I was like, oh, yeah, I had to do a lot of stuff like that around the house, the garage, and stuff like this. But when you get into it, so now it's more of routine, the day, the night, the kids, whatever else. So,
you know what? This stuff is good for men, because if we didn't have daylight savings time, when you got home from work at 5 o'clock, your woman's going to tell you to rake the leaves. Well, it's too dark. You can't rake the leaves, so bam. So the fellas make out like bandits too.
Neal.
So not only do you want the kids to get molested in the morning, but you want guys
to have to work all day,
shoveling the snow, raking the leaves. You just don't like society.
You know what
That's
it is?
your problem.
No. You know what it is, Terry?
What?
Neal has people for that. That's why.
Neal does not.
Right.
Neal does not.
They're there right now.
I mowed the lawn yesterday, Terry, as a matter of fact. Out there, that one in the fall where you shave it really close, and hopefully it's the last time? I was out there mowing the lawn yesterday, raking the leaves, all that stuff, Terry.
Yeah, I do believe that too.
I know. I exactly. No, you're right. You probably were, Neal. You probably were.
I was. And look, Saturday,
I thought that's why you have kids, right? Isn't it? And then they get older, and then you try to get them to do it.
Yeah,
and they don't do it properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to shake off the cobwebs late Saturday night of watching football. Took advantage of my hour early, watching that clock go, from 2 and then back to 1, which was pretty neat. And
I've never seen that. Does it actually do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've made sure I watched it Saturday
back in
night.
the drinking days, that was the best day of the year.
Oh, $1,000,000%.
You sit at the bar and you go, 2, 1, another
round. One more hour.
Let's go.
No, absolutely. But we do. When we take a break, we come back, we got to get into the whole Michigan State situation with Purdue and what happened there and what the shakeout will be from it. And we'll discuss. We'll get T. Foss's angle on it as well. Michigan with the win over Indiana and their freshman quarterback. And, boy, that Michigan schedule is working right this year, Terry. It is. We'll discuss.
Okay.
We're going to talk about it when we come back. Now, look, I told you guys Saturday night was up late. Had the college football going, was trying to get everybody right, where I failed the people. But let me tell you someone that doesn't fail the people. MyBookie.ag. Sign up today. Use a promo code Woodward. They'll match your deposits up to 50%. And again, guys, who you bet with is almost as important as who you're betting on. And MyBookie, one of the OGs of the game, certainly. They have all the action out there. The football, the live betting, the parlays, the point spread bets. Obviously, you guys know that as well. Big UFC weekend as well. Congratulations to everyone that hit on Usman. MyBookie had that great promo going on Saturday night that I told you about. The best promos in the game, some of the best deposit bonuses in the game, and the best sports book in the game. It's MyBookie.ag. And again, sign up today. Use that promo code Woodward. They'll match your deposit up to 50%. Have a sports gambling problem? Let's get it together. Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house. We do have to get into it. Michigan State and Purdue. And Purdue came in 530-some passing yards against that Michigan State passing defense that is now 130th in the nation. And Terry, it was really intriguing to me because Penn State outpossessed Michigan State in that game by over 10 minutes and had 56 yards rushing. And you never see that. That's
unheard of. But, a lot of times there's the old saying, style makes fight. And I think what we saw, this was a perfect example of Purdue's strength is Michigan State's weakness. Purdue dinks and dunks. They don't go upfield very much. And Michigan State is, even though their secondary is subpar, they don't give up a lot of long plays, but they'll give up that consecutive 10 yards, 15 yards, 10 yards again, and they just can't stop people. And the ugly thing that happened this weekend was, well, how come they didn't pressure more? Because Purdue, they get rid of that ball in like 2 seconds.
Tom Brady asked
you can't blitz them because it's the worst thing you can do when you blitz. It's like a screen pass, and it's like every play is a screen pass for those guys. And that's
how they run. That's how they run the ball.
And this
was all in game planning to me, right? Purdue did exactly that, and strengths versus weaknesses, right? And who was gonna execute. And I think that it's sort of looking back in hindsight, but the telltale signs, the first drive, and Kenneth Walker puts it on the ground, which is sort of common. And you got to give Purdue the credit. This is all the credit, and the whole thing. It's like you're sitting here going, the biggest thing is MSU gave up an opportunity to control their own destiny even more, right? But at the end of the day, it's like where Michigan is, where Ohio State is. These are one-loss teams. But you mentioned it earlier, being 130th against the pass, right? The dink and dunks, right? They just haven't found. There's their Achilles heel for MSU. If you're going to exploit them, Purdue showed how, and it doesn't matter how great offensively, how many rushing yards. That takes time. When you're giving up 10 yards, 15 yards a play, or every 2 downs, and they showed it. It was what worked against it. There was a couple times, missed tackles where they had the quarterback in the grasp, and like Terry said, you tried to game plan to put more pressure on them, but against this, you needed more linebackers, more that one-on-one intermediate play than you did anything else. And Purdue gets credit because they did exactly what they looked like they planned to do going into the game.
And third down was a disaster.
Yeah,
I swear
disaster.
They had to be like 50 out of 50 on third down. It just seemed like they hit every play. But there's a silver lining in this. Michigan State is not the third best team in the nation.
No.
And that is truth. Yeah.
You do not want to see them in the college football semifinal playing Georgia
or Bama.
Or even Bama. Even though Bama looks human this year, I bet you if they played, they would just get smoked again. And so do you really want to see that? I want to see quality football. And I don't like when local teams get on the big stage and look like they've never been there. And I think that's exactly what would happen if they made the college football semifinal.
Tommy Williamson, our YouTube chat thread, says, I can't wait to see how Michigan State fans and Neal spin this loss. There is no spin in that loss. It goes back, and I said this on this. Has anybody stopped and thought that maybe they weren't the third best team in America? They were deserving of where they were just based on the landscape of the situation. But when it boils down to it, they weren't. And guess what? It taught me a lot, too, I think, about Michigan. I learned a lot about Michigan through that game, too, because of Spartans' pass defense. Because you saw, and Michigan is obviously vastly superior to Indiana and their freshman quarterback, who has some tools. He could be a problem down the road. But with that being said, that Michigan pass offense looked very pedestrian against Indiana. Is that fair to say?
That is not. Was that a text you just read? Let me correct this young man. The people that make excuses for losses are Michigan fans. They do that every game. Oh, the refs got us. Oh, the pink locker room at Iowa. They come up with all kinds of junk. And then they have the audacity to say, well, other teams make excuses. Michigan has never, ever lost a football game.
They ran out of time.
Ran out of time, or the refs got us, or just all kinds of stuff. Now there was one loss that was legit that I attended. They're playing Indiana in the rain. This was many, many years ago. And so they're driving into the rain to try to kick a game-winning field goal. And what happened was when they lined up, the wind shifted. So then the kicker had to kick into the field, into the wind, and then he missed it. So I'll give him that one. But for the most part, it's like Michigan people they have this book called Excuses 101, and they just pull out every one that they can. But then they say everybody else makes excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just call them the kettle black.
Nick says Michigan dominated that whole game and then killed themselves with dumb mistakes. Michigan State was lucky to make it out undefeated. They're not the third best team. And Nick, that's what I learned through all this was Michigan State's not the third best team in America. And guess what? Michigan ain't the third best team in America either.
No.
They're not. Both of them are not. Now the math fell right. The landscape fell right. Certainly, as I talked about with Michigan, their schedule has really fallen right. But both these teams, and I know that breaks everybody's heart here, and we were all geared up last week. I understand that. But that's what the situation is because T. Fawcett goes back to what you said. And DMac, you throw Michigan State, Michigan into the ring with Alabama and Georgia, you know how it's gonna come out.
Okay, is it just me, or if I'm a Michigan or Michigan State fan and they're both 8-1, because I remember the conversations that we were hoping that Michigan State would be 500.
But that is the other thing, yeah.
Wait a sec. Like, to even have the fact that we're arguing if they're they're in the top 10. Shouldn't we be happy about that? And they both, no matter what, have put themselves in a position to control their own destiny.
We should, but young man, we live in a divided state. No matter what happens when one of these teams
You're right. But I'm just saying,
the other side is clowning on them.
But you have that. So it reflects the politics, right? So you have the left, the way right, the ones that are just looking to jump on the other one no matter what it does. I'm talking about for the person with common sense that likes to call it as they see it, or likes to see the success of both these programs. You got to be proud of them. And now the fact that they both have to play Ohio State, they both can sort of control their own destiny. I mean, it's like, call it like you see it, like you said, and now we get to watch. Now the part that worries me is that there was no backup for the Wolverines to that passing game that we thought we saw Cade McNamara have. It's sort of like they went back to doing the same old things. Michigan State, you got abused by tape for something that the stats say you're the worst at, and you proved it. And Terry and the facts are. Now, can you improve this? Because you don't think Ohio State's going to feast on both of those things. So now you're in a position where I don't care what your expectations are about the Ohio State game, but it matters to both teams, right? And you still have the other games to play. So sitting here in November, from sitting here in August, sit back and enjoy it.
We should be celebrating that our two college teams are 16-2.
So I guess I'm talking to the people that are celebrating that both teams are that successful. They're going to probably be, they are going to be in the top 10. They are going to play in meaningful bowls. They have meaningful games left in this season. They still can shock the world no matter what. And the fact that they're right here, to both of them sitting here at this November, the second week of November, good on you.
It is.
Happy. Makes me watch.
There's the big boogeyman in the room. And the boogeyman is Ohio State.
Yeah.
Even though Ohio State looks pedestrian, they look normal at times.
For them, yeah.
Like they could be beat. You don't think your team can beat them. You don't think the other team can beat them. So there's
T-Foss, you know what this is, too, with college football this year? It's part of this big grand thing where I think universally across the board people would say it is a down year for college football. And at the same time, especially all the Lions fans here say, well, there's no quarterback to take in the draft. Those two things are directly related. Yeah. It's a down year for quarterbacks in college football. Thus, it's a down year for college football because it's the most important position in sports. And everywhere across the board, it's not the same as it was last year. That's just the landscape we're in right now with college football.
Do you mean down year, though, because it's sort of more of anybody could win, even though we have the Alabamas and the Georgias.
Well,
but
I don't think it's that, DMac. It's that anybody can lose. I think that's what it is.
No, but if you look at an Alabama game, you just look at it and say, you know what, these guys can be beat. If you look at Ohio State and just look at an entire game, you say, you know what, these guys can be beat. Years past, Alabama, they're going to roll.
That's what I mean. So that's important. So it's more of that teams are vulnerable to lose. As in the past, it's like Alabama, they're not going to lose this game. So teams can lose. But that should build into the excitement and even in the back of your mind. The big bad boogeyman, the wolf, whatever it is. But this could be the year it changes.
Right.
This could be the year it changes.
Here's what we don't do. We don't give credit to the other team and say, you know what, maybe these other teams are better. So we look at the top and say the top is not as good as it was before, but we don't look at the bottom. So, well, you know what? The bottom is more competitive. These guys are not scared of Alabama anymore.
No, or even Ohio State in the Big Ten. You know,
well, we're gonna see.
Right.
Like that whole are they scared of Ohio State? You'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know when Michigan State or Michigan gets on the field.
They switched their defense. They've switched schemes and everything, and you know. They do just enough to beat bad teams. But the good ones, they're like, when you start doubting that team, it's like they turn into an entire different Buckeye squad. And they're like, gangster. So I'm going to bet that they're going to be gangster against Michigan State and Michigan, especially Michigan, because that's that last game and that tradition thing. Michigan's going to get the best of Ohio State.
And because of last year that they didn't get to put the whooping on them. You know, and Ryan Day, because Ryan Day, to me, is an assassin. When it comes down to it, right? You know what I'm saying? And he'll have his team ready to play. Will our team be ready to play? Either one of them.
You know what? Last year, I think we need to start saying, buck, 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 buck. I think Wolverines wanted no part of them.
Absolutely not.
As Joyke and I always say, Michigan made a business decision last year.
Straight business
They
decision.
made a business decision to not play that game.
That was a training injury. We're going to have to put that fight off another 6 weeks, bro.
Yeah, they made a business decision as far as that one was concerned. So, you know, it's just, I honestly believe that, though. It is a down year in college football because it's a down year for quarterbacks. And I think that we're uniquely in tune with it here in Detroit because the draft situation, we look at Jared Goff and the quarterback situation here with the Lions. So you're...
There we go again.
It was a great weekend for that, by the way. We'll discuss coming up in just a little bit. But we'll continue this college football discussion. But before that, I want to tell you about the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck, home of the original bowling pin game called Foaling. And you can host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. There's 2 ways to play. They have open play. It's just $10. You stay there all day long, play unlimited. You can also reserve private lanes as well, $120 for up to 2 hours with 10 people. The best part, they have over 100 beers available, a $2 mystery beer vending machine, which is pretty cool, and multiple full bars. The other great part about it is you can have your food delivered in. You can bring food with you, whatever you want to do. It'd be like Joy, get that Uber Eats up in there at the Foaling Warehouse and have your party and get after it. You can come get your Foal on. Check it out at foalingwarehouse.com.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Don and Poppin here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house, Fish in the bowl, our guy Sawyer on the 1s and 2s. And we did discuss the Michigan State game a little bit, and really they were taken apart, T. They were taken apart by Purdue offensively and Aiden O'Connell. And this backs up my claim too, T. Foss, about college football. You have to be able to, A, throw the football, and you have to be able to control a football game via the pass in college football today. You have to. It's a non-negotiable.
in the big games, maybe.
Yeah.
But in most of the games, you don't need that. And I think Michigan has proven that. They had a diversified offense against Michigan State, almost beat them. Then they go to Indiana and said, we're just going to run the ball again. Because we don't need to pass. We don't need to take chances. And I think the thing that is sad about college football, when you look at just about any program in the nation, they don't play a 12-game schedule. It's like a 3 or 4 game schedule. It doesn't matter if you beat Northwestern this year. It doesn't matter if you beat Nebraska this year. But you damn well better beat Penn State and Michigan State and Ohio State. Other than that, you're supposed to win everything else. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. It's like we're looking at Michigan State now. You lost to Purdue. There's something wrong with you. If they had lost to Ohio State, it was like, that's expected. So all these teams are playing 3 and 4 game schedules, which is the thing I don't like about college football. For instance, in the NFL, that's a 16-game schedule. You better win every game you can, but we understand you're going to lose 4 or 5 games. That's just the way it is. But in college football, you better beat everybody who we consider scrubs, and then the rest of them, you try to beat Ohio State, Michigan State, and Michigan if you can.
Yeah, and that's where, because in the NFL, everything is equal. Schedule is equal, payroll is equal, all that stuff. You have every opportunity to do your thing. In college football, you control your schedule. As we've seen with, the landscape of Michigan and how they schedule and how some other teams schedule and things like that, you have that control. Where for teams like Michigan, as I said last week, it was a 4-game schedule for Michigan. Now Washington lost to a non-FBS team at home, so you cross them off. Again, not Michigan's fault. The Michigan State game was the second game in that schedule. They lost. Now they're at Penn State this week, and everyone seems to be just talking about this Ohio State game. And am I the only one that realizes they play at Penn State at noon? And I think what we've seen this year, DMac, that noon game is tough when you're on the road. It is. It's hard. Ohio State struggled. It takes a minute to get things rolling, dude. It just does.
Well, and it's going into Happy Valley, it's always tough place to play. Not only, I guess it's the worst place to report from, Terry, driving in there and driving out.
Yeah, it's tough to get in there, Rascal.
Is it?
Yes.
And tough to get out.
And to get out.
Yeah. But you said like that. Doesn't that mean a bigger test because it is at noon and sort of the wake up call is easier for the 3:30 game? I don't know, but the bottom line is you have to win the game. So this game's on the schedule from the beginning of the season or training. Like Terry said, you got these games marked off in the locker room. So as a player or as a coach, it don't matter. It don't matter because it's one of your focus games, right? So wouldn't matter if you played 6 a.m. Broadcast. Like you said, you had to do the one time, or we're gonna do. You
gotta do it. Michigan wins 29-7 over Indiana in the Big House. Cade McNamara was 10 of 18 for 168 yards. The savior, J.J. McCarthy, Terry, 5 of 10, had an interception.
Yeah, I know, and they're trying to get rid of a guy that was unbeaten until Michigan State. I think that would be a mistake. And here's the other thing: you could lose the locker room. You have to poll that locker room to see who likes McNamara. If that's their guy, and you're going to take his job away from him, he's done nothing wrong but be a game manager. That shouldn't be a crime. So the Michigan coaches, before they would make a switch like that, would definitely have to poll that locker room so they don't lose it.
Yeah, Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum got hurt in the game, so Hassan Haskins kind of oversaw the number one rushing duties. He's a good player, man. Hassan Haskins is a very good player, and he was very good in that game. And when you look at something for Michigan and defensively for me, look, I've talked about Aiden Hutchinson before. The Pro Football Focus tweets about he's the best defensive player in America, and then you look at the box score and there's not much going on and all that stuff. I will say this, and I know people are going to spin this the other way, but David Ojabo is a great player. Is a great player.
Overshadowed.
No one talks about him.
You have.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You've mentioned if Hutchinson or the guy on the opposite end of the line that you don't know, which is his name. And you know what the cool thing is, and why do I know his name? Obviously from playing him and having to watch the games and stuff. But Aiden Hutchinson even mentions him when he talks about his success. So to understand that, which tells you a lot about a player himself. But that guy's legitimate. When you see the eyeball test that you always talk about. The eyeball test is there. That's an NFL pro.
No doubt. And it'll be intriguing to see if he comes back, if he leaves. I'm always a guy where if you want to go. I would always err about going as to not going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at what point? Because people always talk about, well, you come back to school and you continue to work out, you continue to get better. When the NFL club invests millions of dollars in you, they give you all those tools too, Terry.
Yeah, they do have nice facilities in the NFL. But the thing is if you can get paid, get paid.
That's exactly what I say.
Because if he's injured, all the Michigan fans are not going to pool their money together and do a GoFundMe page for this guy. It's like, hey, too bad. So Hutchinson, I see no reason for him to return.
No, none whatsoever.
Unless he is so in love with the University of Michigan that he's willing to risk that. But this dude can play. He's a baller. And Ojabo's a baller too, man. Yeah,
I just think that Ojabo gets shortchanged in all this discussion all the time. He's a dude, man.
It might make more sense for him to stay because then he can play a year with no Hutchinson. And then the focus will be on him, and he'll be a higher draft pick.
And Pro Football Focus will put out a tweet every week about how he's the best player in America, even though the stat sheet's empty.
It could happen. It could happen. But Hutchinson does things that alters games, even though you don't see it statistically. But if you just look at him, he disrupts offenses big time.
So I have a question. On the other game, the Michigan State-Purdue game, even though Michigan State lost, but Kenneth Walker, the third K9, he ran 146 yards and a touchdown. Did that game or his performance help or hurt or solidify?
I think he held serve. It's just for him, it's more that they lost that's going to hurt because this has become the Heisman's become the MVP of the best team. That's what the Heisman's become. It's not for a long time. It hasn't been the most valuable player in college football. I think he held serve. He didn't hurt it. He didn't help it. Now what hurt him, Terry, was he got the ball 6 times in the second half. That's what hurt him.
That was the big mistake, I thought, from the coaching standpoint.
But they never had the football.
No, they had the football. There were times where Purdue was in a 3-man front. I'm like, run this, brother. What are you doing? And they would go back and pass. I thought they should not have abandoned the run because at the worst they were down 1 score until the very end. I would have run him more.
Yeah, how can you not? And obviously, I was waiting for it, too, because we saw in that Michigan game when they got down, he was like, hey, Tuck, put it on my back. I got the team. And he didn't get the opportunity. It's not like we could so I don't know if people are looking at it like, you know what, why didn't you, like we're looking at it, why didn't you give him the opportunity to sort of fail? It's not like he had 12 touches or 10 touches or something like this. He carried you through back and won the Michigan game. Why didn't you allow him to try to do that? Why don't you go down with your guns? And I think that's the disappointing point, is that you understand that you're going to win or lose and your season relies on him, so might as well bell cow him.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, though, man, when you're down 31-21 in the fourth quarter and can't get a stop on defense.
28-21. Run some clock. All you have to do is score, and it's a tie again. It wasn't like.
But you got to get the ball back at some point, Terry. You said it yourself. They were 500 for 500 on third down.
They had the ball down 28-21. Run this dude.
No, I don't disagree with you, man.
And there was a couple times Purdue had a 3-man front. I said, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Run. Let him go."
I'm always a guy. I'm going to lose with my best. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm going to lose because they shut down Kenneth Walker. That's how I'm going to operate. If I'm a pitcher and my fastball is my best pitch, then you're going to have to hit my fastball. And if you beat me, then you beat me.
That's the disappointing point, is they beat us, but did we go out guns blazing. Did he hit my fastball at 99 or whatever my best pitch? Did he hit my best pitch out and I got to tip my hat to him? Or did I take the easy way out on him? And I know it's all this, the other things about the defense and this and that, but Kenneth Walker III is your identity. He is your, we're talking about the Heisman. We've seen what he could do, and he just did it last week. Why don't you go back to the well? I thought for sure that we're going to see him, all they're going to do is hand him the ball, they're down 2 scores. Didn't do it.
Decoy. That's what he became.
Zach Prophet says, does Michigan have a chance to be number 6 in the nation or possibly in the college football playoff if they beat Ohio State, Penn State, and Maryland? Yeah, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. But that's a big ask. You got to go on the road at Penn State, and you got to get through. You got to go on the road at Penn State, you got to beat Ohio State, and then you got to win the Big Ten championship game.
Stuff legends are made of.
Yeah. If that happens, Michigan could get back in the playoff.
Right.
They could be number 3 and number 4.
They're set up, both Michigan and Michigan State, to win out. You got to beat, obviously Ohio State. It means something. The Michigan State loss helps Michigan, but Michigan State
still needs a little bit of help to get in there, but it's still possible.
But see, I don't think they do. They just have to win.
Michigan State, if they run the table, they're not getting in.
Now that I would agree with.
The table, Michigan is not getting in.
That is true. That is fair, and I agree with that, because when they played each other, what happened?
Right. Or Oregon has to lose. Something has to happen for Michigan to get in, and let's forget the whole Cincinnati thing. They're not letting them in. I am a dummy. I thought that there was a shot they would let Cincinnati in, but that's not happening.
Cincinnati's not coming in, and you know what? Cincinnati, we feel for you here at Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy. If you want, you can go to coastportland.com too. Use WSN20 for 20% off and get yourself a machete. I'm not saying use it against the bowl committee or anything like that. Hint, hint, hint. But you can go there. You can also get some lights for those holes and stuff like this. Do-it-yourselfers, first responders, they all use it. What a great brand. Thank you, Coast Portland. Remember, coastportland.com, WSN20, 20% off. Make sure you tell them. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty. We got T. Foss in the house today. We'll be right back. Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a
graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
On and poppin', Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. He is DMac, Darren McCarty. He is T-Foss, Terry Foster, Fish, and Sawyer here in the house as well. And I think there are a lot of people that, Michigan and Michigan State fans that seem to be on my line of thinking, Terry. Sam says neither Michigan or Sparty is good enough to run the table. But I don't know that Ohio State can run the table this year either. And I think those are fair points.
But why not?
Because they're just not good enough, Terry.
No. We don't believe that Michigan and Michigan State could beat Ohio State, right?
No. If I had to bet my mortgage on it, I would bet on Ohio State.
All right. Then who else does Ohio State have to play? And before you get into the playoff, Minnesota, Purdue.
Oh, that's a ranked Minnesota team, Terry. What are you talking about?
Ohio State can't beat Minnesota.
No, Terry, they can't. That's a ranked Minnesota team that just gave P.J. Fleck an extension. That's a great team. Number 20 team in the country.
So Minnesota's going to beat Ohio State.
Oh, they lost this week to Illinois, you said? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that happened too. Come on, stop it now.
Iowa's the second best team in the country, Terry.
Yeah, about 10 years ago or 10 weeks ago.
Chuck Long.
Ohio State has an excellent shot at running the table until they get to the college.
No, I don't disagree.
Playoffs.
If I had to bet on one of them to do it, I would bet on Ohio State. But at the same time, I don't get that. We were talking about this earlier. I don't get that air of invincibility with them that I have in the past.
All right, brother. Who they going to lose to?
They
who
could
do they have
lose.
a shot to lose to?
Both Michigan or Michigan
Yeah,
State.
I mean, I suppose they could lose to Michigan, right? The game's at Michigan.
They could. But
they could, but I doubt it.
Expect that to happen.
No, I don't expect it. That is a fair point. That is a fair point.
Yeah, but I didn't expect both Michigan and Michigan State be 8-1 at this point.
That is true.
So
also,
maybe it's that year.
On our YouTube chat thread, Chris says them losing to Purdue just submarine his Heisman campaign to a lot of voters. It's a dumb system, and that's where I am too. I think that loss hurts more than anything. Miki Phelps says down on the 15 and they didn't run Walker once when they were down 13. Made no sense. Then 2 straight passes to Reed on 3rd and 4th down. It was stupid. Immortal Eagle says it's tough now for any running back not from Alabama to win a Heisman, and that's what it is too. I mean, it is. It's the MVP, usually the quarterback, on the perceived best team in college football. That's what it's become, an MVP award, Terry.
See, I don't think this hurt Walker because you have to understand most of the Heisman votes are taken just before the bowls begin. So the Heisman voter is going to look at his stats and say, you know what? Michigan State finished 10-2. They're going to forget that they lost to Purdue. They're going to look at his stats and say, you know what? This dude had a really good year. And they're going to put him up against the quarterbacks from Alabama and a couple other teams and make their decisions. So I think this game helped him a little bit because it pads his stats. He has 146 yards. We're not going to – the Heisman voter 3 weeks from now are not going to say, damn, Michigan State lost to Purdue. They're going to say, they were 10-2. That's a good season for a team we didn't expect anything from.
No, and that could be the case. It could be, but we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. More on the YouTube chat thread. MPWMU, Neal crapped on Illinois at the beginning of the year, not looking so bad now. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because every time they win, we go, oh, really?
Brett Bielema's got it rolling now.
You're right.
Yeah, every time we get that. But they're 4-6 overall, 3-4 in conference. Illinois, some big wins. Yeah, the Minnesota thing I thought was pretty funny to me too. That Minnesota being ranked and then they lose, and I know that they've had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. But it just comes back to it all. It's not a good year for college football because there are no good quarterbacks.
Well,
that was my takeaway Saturday.
Mal Kiper's bingo wheel of who's the top quarterback. Every week it seems to change, but it's the consistency, and it goes down to you don't have, show me teams that there's no way they can't win. Now it's like, oh, wow, everybody can lose. It makes it more exciting coming down to it because, you know what, the chaos. Like, there's going to be more things, more upsets. You look at even, you're laughing, but North Carolina beating Wake Forest. You look at the way the landscape is. I'm sure there's more shakeups, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another big loss by a top 5 team.
There probably will be.
To shake it up again, and then you brought something up before the show, right? Where strength of schedule or who they beat,
the narrative
whatever fits the narrative. You know what? Whether it's talking Heisman, we're talking college playoffs, rankings. That's the question to answer now.
All right, a top 5 team will lose in the next couple weeks.
2 weeks.
Who will it be? I think it's going to be Oregon.
I would say Oregon if I had to bet on it. But then you know what? There's something tells me that Ohio State is vulnerable too. But I would go Oregon first because too inconsistent.
And Ohio State, if they lose, I would have to believe it would be Michigan on the road if they're going to lose another game.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but the fact that we're having this conversation in every year's past, it's like you're crazy. Now it's like, you know what? I got to look and see. You told me I had the tail a couple times. I might have to look around and see if I got one, right? Because it could happen, and that makes it exciting. If you're a fan of excitement, maybe not the best football you'll ever see. Good. Maybe that's why ESPN canceled the ESPN Classics because there's no more classic football games, college football games, because they can't produce them. So I don't know. It's sort of exciting, and isn't it exciting at the end of the day that we're talking about 2 Michigan teams that Terry said, your teams are combined 16-2, and you got 2 top 10 teams. That's a good year. That's a good into this point. Now, what have you done for me lately? Let's go.
Right, it should be, but you just don't get that enthusiasm. And I think that's because society has changed.
Well, and that's the problem with it too, Terry, because it's there for the taking this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's
the most frustrating thing.
It's out there, and it could be like it's sort of like the Atlanta Braves proved that, that at some point going into the long shot of 12-1 at the beginning of the World Series, even the fact getting there with who they lost. Right now, you could take somebody outside the top 4 that could possibly get in there as a longer shot because it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
So I just think things have changed. Let me go way back in the day. I'm going to be old man for a second.
Are you going to go to the 1900s?
The late 1900s?
Close. 1970s.
Oh,
if this was happening in the 1970s, there would be maize and blue and green and white confetti up and down Woodward. It would be all over the city because people would be excited. Now, when you lose a game, people are pissed off, and it takes them a while to recover from that. I think that's a societal thing. This is the sports fan. It's not. We're not as gung ho and let's go. Or, this is my guys and everything. You're like that until they lose one game, and it's like, damn.
Well, Terry, you know why that is, right? Because we're a big event, social media society now.
I guess so.
If it's not the big event, then we're not interested.
Well, Neal, let me say one thing. I don't like it. But how about that?
But it's also, too, in the fast forward, give it to me now, how we watch our sports and stuff like this. And, sports is the only thing that goes on live. We do our appointment viewing on everything else, right? It's just the way that society, technology, and everything's just sped it up. It's like now. Give me results. Give me results. What have you done now? I've been doing this for 2 days. Why am I not, a millionaire? It's why?
Hey, I'm going to go back in the day again when you were a young whippersnapper playing for the Detroit Red Wings.
Ooh.
Even though they're rolling, in the back of our minds, we're thinking about, okay, how are they going to blow it this time?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Until then there would be, when you get to the 90s or 2000, let me ask you this, Terry. Right? That was always the case until we proved it. And then how about what was the mindset going into Vancouver, Game 3, first round of the playoffs in 2002, that we eventually won the cup, but we're down. We lost both games at home going in there. Now the attitude I asked,
they still going to do it. Watch them. They're going to win this series. That was the attitude there.
Right.
The only time that changes is if you guys are playing like Game 5 at home, and we're wondering, okay, we're in the second period and it's still 0-0. What's going on around here? And I think the crowd, it hit the crowd there. You hear that little murmur like, and I wonder if it affected the team sometimes. Or if you guys were so focused, you didn't notice that the people in the crowd are going, damn, what the hell is going on here?
Did you guys feel that?
But if the fan, listen, it's like the Heisman effect. If you guys know it's 0-0 and the veteran is that we go, we're good. Right? This is where you have veteran leadership team where it would say if you have the cups or you've been through the tough times before, is that, the fans can get out of hand and be nervous. That's when we got to lean on each other and know that it's the type of game. This is going to be a 1-0 game. We can win 1-0 games even though right? So that's the mentality. When you see younger teams in any sport that haven't been there, don't have the experience, then they let the crowd dictate. Good or bad, it can influence you. So Neal, without the confidence or looking to the veteran leadership on the bench or having a Scotty Bowman or whatever, and know we've been in those positions, it could affect you. Like the youth of the team now, they're going to have to learn that, even though they're not expected that. And I think that flows through the team, and that comes down sort of from the top of it's like what's your expectations, right? Terry be one to explain, because the attitude or the culture that I always speak, he lived it with either the Pistons or the Red Wings of how it changed. Like when I say March 26, 97, at the end of the game, after scoring the goal and beating Lemieux up, it was the proverbial, it's going to be all right. Don't know what it means. It's going to be all right. That everybody in Wing Wheel Nation felt throughout everywhere. It's like that everywhere felt, right? The same way as when Stevie came back. That's the attitude change, right? Where you're going, wow, something's a little different. Now, he still had to prove it, right? We went out and proved it and got through Colorado and then won cups. And then where Terry goes is, how are these guys? It goes from how are you going to blow it to how are they going to
win it?
How are they going to win it? How are they going to mesmerize us now? Right? Like, it's stuff like that. Later on when we talk hockey,
yes.
Sawyer, I don't know. I was on the sheet. Connor McDavid's goal from the other night, you have to bring that up because there's a perfect opportunity about what we're talking now. And has things changed in Edmonton? Because is Edmonton how are they going to blow it now? We won't know till the playoffs. But this is a guy being able to step up, take over different things. But it's attitude, and you see it reporting it where it means something.
I used to go into the opposing dressing room sometimes, and a lot of times they say, no, we were confident. We were in a close game with the Wings, but we knew something was going to happen. We knew something was coming. We didn't know what, and we didn't know when, but we knew it. So you got that in the back of your mind. That's not a good thing to have.
Well, here's the thing, because they're all expecting it, and this is where the team comes in, because they're expecting it to come from the Heismans and the Federals and the Lidstroms and all these guys, and then when the Maltby or a Draper or a Kosher or McCarty or somebody you're not expecting gets you, that's when it, there's the guy. There's that other punch that you're not expecting. So it's like, shut this guy down or do this or whatever like that, and you're good. No, then you got other aspects. That's what makes championships.
Absolutely. In our YouTube chat thread, Francis says, no superstar quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence and parity in college football makes this season more exciting. I'm so tired of the same three teams, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, every year in the college football playoff. But, guys, you have to remember, we could still end up with Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, and somebody else, which is
who do you
pretty
think,
much
Terry,
how it's
right
been.
now, gun to your head, who's that fourth team?
I think the fourth team right now is Ohio State, because it's I'm not going to use the word great, but still a very good team. And I do think part of the Final Four has to do with appeal, matchups, who the committee wants to see play, who the committee thinks the public wants to see play. So I think Ohio State is that fourth team, and right now you got to put Oregon, because Oregon beat them.
Yep. No, I agree.
And I don't trust Oregon. I don't trust Oregon to navigate the rest of the way.
No, I don't either. And so then if we're eliminating Oregon, who's going to be that fourth team?
Cincinnati at some point's got to enter the equation, right? Like at some point.
You know what? Cincinnati, the best thing they have going for them, and it's kind of crappy, is Cincinnati chili. They don't bring the fans.
Skylight.
They don't bring the the
that
sex
chili is
appeal.
wildly overrated. It's wildly overrated.
They don't bring the sex appeal. They're going to do everything they can to keep them out.
No question. There's no question about that. And remember, too, like we were talking about the Heisman thing, people got to remember Alabama hasn't had their national exposure yet. Like when they play Oregon, when they play in the SEC championship game, Bryce Young's time on camera is coming. You know what I'm saying? So keep an eye on that, and that's the way it always seems to work out, everybody. Woodward Sports giving you a chance to sit front row for the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. All you got to do is survive our squid or turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. This one, Big D Energy at noon, and the Bottom Line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of the turkey games will get 2 tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game plus a turkey. I'm a big fan of turkey as a prize. I don't know why, but I am. So if you think you can master our turkey game challenges, make sure you watch, listen, and win. You can also get qualified via the Woodward Sports social media platforms as well. If you're not following, follow Woodward Sports on Twitter at Woodward Sports. So again, we'll be qualifying somebody to sit front row for the Thanksgiving Day game against the Lions. Speaking of Lions, we're going to discuss when we come back. It was a great bye week for them. You're watching and listening to Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Rolling up towards hour number 2, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. At the top of the hour, we'll get our first qualifier for the turkey game.
I got something very important. I got a tweet from Tom from St. Clair Shores. Can you try to tell Neal to change it up a little bit? It's getting old. Michigan hate, Hutchinson hate. Call it what you say. It's every day. It sounds like this. And I told him as a head of AR, if Mr. Rule says anything untruthful like Aaron Rodgers, I will call him out. Thanks for the call, Tom, from St. Clair Shores.
That's Tom Maz from the Shores. Michigan, hey, didn't I just sit here and say that Ajabo was like a great player?
You did say
his
that.
hearing aid works on certain. It's like that phone commercial, right? Where between
didn't I say Hassan Haskins is a
and
very
Giancarlo
good player?
Stanton, and he hit a home run. I did. That's what I did. Has the HR? Have you got a call from the
No,
HR
I have
department?
not. Yeah. No,
So
I have
you
not.
just keep being you.
I will.
You keep being
I think
you.
Maz's ever-ready batteries in his hearing aid gave out.
That's
a
what
little
I'm saying. It's the spot. And,
yeah.
He just hears what.
Thanks
just
for
hears what he
listening, Tom.
wants.
Thanks for listening.
He heard him say, Hutchinson sucks as a player. That's what he heard.
Yeah.
I just thought that the love goes a little overboard with him. I think Ajabo is
And it's
just
just
as
what
good.
you've been told. The truth. You just,
Yeah.
it's what you've been told, and then it's not what you think. It's what you know, and all that stuff.
I really like Hassan Haskins a lot. I think he's a very good player too. Michigan has good players. What have you heard me say? Michigan doesn't have good players.
I haven't heard it.
T-Foss,
But
come on.
I said I have not heard it.
He said I haven't heard it.
Yeah. Detroit Dabber says Neal isn't a hater. He's just relaying what he's been told. That's what I was told.
That's right.
I was told he's the best.
Hey, you're one of those rare males, right, that listens. And then when he hears, he takes
I wish
it in.
I wish my wife were on the show right now.
No. To dudes, to guys. This has nothing to do with marriage. This has nothing to do. This isn't a marriage show.
You're right.
This is a sports show. So what we're talking is that you hear what you're told, and it's the accountability to what's coming out of every which way and which place. But no, you call it like you see it.
Chef Chris Smith says Skyline chili is trash. It's way overrated. I'll stop short in calling it trash because I am an equal opportunity chili. I love chili. It's getting to be chili season right now, which I can't wait for. It's a step above trash. However, it is wildly overrated. All it needs is pro chili focus to put out a tweet every day saying it's the best chili in the world.
Instead of trashing the Skyline chili, just say that it's subpar.
Less than.
Yes, less than. It's not Mama's chili.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's get someone qualified for the Turkey games. We'll pluck one off our YouTube chat thread since that's like the spine of our audience. Let's do this. The second person that puts the phrase draft capital in the YouTube chat thread will get a sounder from Fish, and we'll get you qualified for the Turkey games, and we'll reach out to you and try to get some contact information and get you all set up. So the second person to put draft capital in the YouTube chat thread, that you'll get the sounder from Fish, number one. That's the most valuable prize that we can give, but we'll also get you qualified for the Turkey game. So
all I need is a Fish sounder. I don't want anything else.
It is. It's taken on a life of its own. Boom, there it is. Dom Rivera, 88, draft capital. We'll get him qualified. Man, look at everybody go. Give Dom one more because he's a first qualifier. Dom will reach out to you on the social media platform and get your contact info and get you qualified. What do you got, Fish?
Send me an email. I made an email for this thing. It's big. turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
There you go. Send an email to turkeygames2021@gmail.com.
Gobble.
Fish will reach out and get you all squared away and get you caught up on everything that you need to do. Talked about it before we went to the break, but I do want to discuss because I think it was a very, very big weekend for the Detroit Lions. And you would say, well, why is that?
Yeah, I want to hear this one.
Well, it's pretty simple, Terry, because you look at what happened and you know what my stance is.
I know it.
You know what my stance is. I'm not saying don't try. I'm not saying throw the games. I'm just saying it benefits you the most to lose the rest of your games. It does. And what we saw, now, Miami played Houston, so somebody was going to win. Turns out Miami won. Okay. So Houston still with one win. Jacksonville stunned the world and beat Buffalo.
Right.
So now they have 2 wins. So now you're 2 games clear of Jacksonville.
Pulling away.
And the Giants, they beat the Raiders, which I saw that one coming from a mile away.
It smelled.
Yeah, it didn't smell right. The Giants came through with the win. Now we got to get Washington football team to win a game. They're on 2 wins. But it was a huge, huge week because as you go across the landscape, we're starting to see some separation. We need the Jets to win a game, the Dolphins to win a game. We're starting to see some separation. It was a huge weekend for the Detroit Lions. They are in the mix, and it looks to be a 2-horse race right now, Terry, between the Lions and Houston. Big weekend, man.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know it's going to happen. Now, who's the number 1 pick? Thibodeau?
Yeah, I mean, that's what people are saying.
All right. Dude can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
My fear is they'll draft him. It'll be the right move, and he comes here and he's out every other week, a knee or an ankle or whatever. He gives me a bad vibe.
I don't
He's
disagree
the
with
number
that.
1 pick, so I'm scared of him. In fact, I read some cockamamie website that said that he might be a second-day draft pick.
See, everywhere I've saw it's got him going 1 or 2. Like all the publication had the Lions taking a quarterback. Like I saw on Pro Football Network has the Lions taking Matt Corral with the first pick, then Thibodeau 2. It kind of flip-flops back and forth from what I've seen. He's universally top 2
and this
pick.
is a big risk. The Lions use that second first-round pick to find a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to what are your scouts telling you? This is your bag, right? This is your gig. It's what you do.
You know what? I'm with Terry because the talent level reminds me of Jadeveon Clowney and stuff like this. But the injury, it also reminds me of what's the availability. It always reminds me of what you say. What's the most valuable thing? Availability in the NFL, right? And he doesn't come in with a good track record in college of being available to play. Even
remember, everyone had to have Clowney. Now he's just
dude.
another dude.
I told you guys I was in the stadium at the game at Raymond James when he hit who the running back was from Michigan in the bowl game.
Smith.
So it sounded like a car crash, and you know those are one of those violent ones. It was unbelievable. Everybody around the section just when you go.
Now, what were you doing to that game? How come you weren't at a CFL game?
Because I was in Florida. That's when I was living down there, so it was much nicer to there. You know what? I'm waiting to go back. CFL, I'm all about that. You know, if you ever been to an Edmonton Eskimo or Calgary Stampeder, we used to go to the Stampeder games when I was in Calgary.
You ever been to the Grey Cup?
Cold. No, I have not. I've never been to the Grey Cup.
I wonder how much tickets are for that.
I think it depends on where it is, right?
What difference does it make? It's not going to be somewhere warm and nice.
It could be indoors or out,
Yeah.
though. BC, you want to go to play in BC because they have an indoor stadium.
Right.
They're $400 a ticket.
Ooh. So that's
And that's US.
That's like $300.
$400 to see the Grey Cup?
Yeah.
I'm passing.
Yeah, but okay, Terry, Super Bowl is like $8,000, and that's like a hope and pray that's a real ticket.
You can get in for $800.
Super Bowl?
Yes. If you know the right person.
Okay.
when it was here in Detroit, I got like 20 tickets. $671 per.
It's not terrible.
Everybody pay it, but it wasn't $8,000 a ticket.
T. Foss, Lions on the clock for Odell Beckham Jr. 4:00 waiver deadline. You're not on this. You're not on this train, right?
No.
Thank you.
No, hell
thank you.
no.
Thank you.
I would be more adamant about it if this guy is, all he does is ruin locker rooms. And I would be more angry about the possibility of them wanting him here if I thought the locker room wasn't already ruined. So the Lions are already broken. So to me, it doesn't even matter if you bring him in. Yes, he's going to come here. He's going to act an ass. His dad will probably have a video on Jared Goff within 15 minutes of him signing. So, yes, he would be a disaster here in Detroit. If you love your Detroit Lions, because I keep running to people, I love my Lions, you do not want Odell Beckham Jr. here. It's the last thing you want because he won't be happy here. He'll clown. He'll clown on quarterback, on Goff, Blau. It doesn't matter. This guy he's a cancer.
See, isn't that interesting? Because the same guy that sits in that chair that played in the league says absolutely the opposite. Right, about what a character guy is, and he knows him as a person, but I agree with Terry. Perception, is the reality in this, and I don't see how it would benefit that locker room and, bring them. It would do everything in the detriment. We're always told to weigh the pros and cons. To me, this doesn't have any pros.
But Neal, you should want Odell Beckham here. Because that's going to guarantee 0-17.
We're doing just fine on our own, Terry.
I know, but they might get some magic dust or something. This guarantees that the Lions will not win a game if you bring this man in.
No, I don't want him in because I just don't want that liability on the books. It's that simple.
You're messing with his chips.
Yeah.
You're messing with his salary cap. No. You got salary cap guy here.
I know. Here's what I've heard the last 4 weeks. Whatever we can do to make sure that they don't win a game, that's what I'm all for. I'm in charge. I'm in favor of all that. Don't win a game.
Is that me or Tony Ortiz?
Whatever you can do, don't do it.
It's a combo.
Now, I'm guaranteeing you 0-17 if you bring this man in. Now, no, I don't want to bring him in.
No, because we're more than capable of being 0-17 without him, Terry.
They can get lucky.
I just don't want. I don't want the contract here. I don't want his talent here. What if he gets hot in a game? I don't want it. It's nothing good, Terry. Nothing good can happen.
He's going to clown Jared Goff. He's going to talk about Dan Campbell like a dog. There's no way they'll win a game with him here. In fact, you know what? Looks better without him? Cleveland Browns.
They certainly did, didn't they?
Sure, look better without the man.
Maybe Odell, when it's all said and done, maybe he'd consider a career change, Terry. What do you think?
You know what, though? If he did consider a career change, and if he has trouble signing with an NFL team, he could do what you guys can do. Yes, you too. You and Odell. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty. T. Foss in the house today. We'll be right back.
Woodward Sports is giving you a chance to sit front row on Thanksgiving. All you have to do is survive our squid game. Nope, our turkey games. Listen every day to the Morning Woodward Show at 9 a.m. Big D Energy at noon. And the bottom line at 3 p.m. for your chance to qualify. The winner of turkey games will get tickets to the Thanksgiving Day Detroit game.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
Plus a turkey. So if you think you can master our turkey games challenges, watch, listen, and win. Make sure you're following @Woodward Sports on all social media, or go to woodwardsports.com for additional chances to qualify. May the best turkey win.
Back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Megan bringing the fire with the Turkey Games commercial. Good job by her.
Fire, Megan.
My name is Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, T-Foss in the house. And T-Foss, your Neal impression's getting a lot of love on the YouTube chat thread. But I thought Tony Ortiz walked in the door.
Every time I imitate someone, they sound like Tony Ortiz. Here's my other Neal. I do not hate Michigan, but they're overrated. The coach should be fired.
The coach should be fired.
And I got a little challenge for you, and maybe this is later on down the road. If Michigan finishes 10-2, goes to the Rose Bowl, but loses to Michigan State and Ohio State, do you retain Jim Harbaugh?
I would not know.
He wants him fired to begin with. That doesn't help the resume.
No, because where's the progress?
10-2 is a good record.
Not when Terry, look. And here's the thing, and this I was going to save this for later, but now I'm not going to, because now you got me going, Terry.
Got him riled up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm the agitator.
You did. You got me riled up, and I wasn't going to do it, but now I am. Terry, when you play all MAC schools, right, and Indiana and Rutgers and Illinois, you're going to win 9 football games at a minimum. You are. You're going to. And it's only going to get better for Michigan, or worse, depending on your stance. Next year, the non-conference schedule: Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn.
Ooh, they got Hawaii, your team.
Yeah, Colorado, but it's not at
Hawaii.
it's
in
here.
Michigan. Yeah.
So you have that. That's 2022, the future schedule. 2023, listen to this one, guys. East Carolina.
The Pirates.
UNLV.
Running Rebels.
And Bowling Green.
Ooh, Falcons.
Bowling Green beats
who?
Big Ten teams now and then.
They do.
They beat Minnesota.
UNLV just won their first game in like 2 years.
Okay, maybe they're about to roll now.
East Carolina, 2020. Like that. This is what it is, guys. I mean, it's baked in. Terry, that's if you don't win 10 games, you should immediately be fired with that schedule.
But you still have to play the Big Ten Conference. Indiana's not a MAC school.
There's 3 games. There's Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, and Iowa or Wisconsin because you don't ever play them both.
So if they beat Penn State, lose to Ohio State, then it's 10-2, go to the Rose Bowl, you're firing the man.
I would be, and I would go take a blank check and go get who, because I know what everyone's going to say. Who are you going to get? Who do you want?
Hey, they should, they should have hired Row the Boat. They should have row the boat when they had the shot.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about
that.
that.
But that's beneath Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't hire clowns like this.
Then that's the problem, Terry. So it's institutional then. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Then I can't fix it. I can't fix it then. I can't help you.
You know he's not going to get fired.
I know he's not. If he was going to get fired, he would have got fired already.
And you guys just explained the why. It's institutional. So move on. It's never going to change. That doesn't change into just like everything else. Just like everything going on in this world, right? Where it starts at the top, and there's a lot of institutional issues and the scheduling, the way that it's done, all this different stuff. What you're all talking about, yeah, everything else is just a microcosm of the big picture, but it hasn't changed, right? You could go to the schedule of what it has been played to what it will, right? So that's more of an institutional. We all know, we're sitting here going, you want to bet mortgage payment? We know he ain't going anywhere, right? You're going to take until he wants to, right? They're not, it's just they've proven that because why? It's an institutional. It's the same thing as institutional what Alabama does. Institutional every other place.
And we've had that discussion before where I went into the factors, and it's not all the Harbaugh thing, Terry. And you and I did this discussion before. At places like Tuscaloosa and Clemson and Ohio State, there's different factors in play that aren't in play at Ann Arbor, if you know what I mean. If there's a situation at a bar, certain people get driven back home. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't hit the newspaper.
It used to happen when Bo was coach.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that happened when he was a coach that we never heard about because he would cover it up.
Well, look at I mean, just without bringing it up, you look at the Simpson, the basketball, the truck, the car. There's still different things, but it's just what all these things we're talking about are institutional. It's the same thing as I brought up earlier. Is that does anybody not have a problem with that? We're all worried about Aaron Rodgers lying when the fact that the bigger problem is somebody killed a lady and her dog going 156 miles an hour after doing 15 shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all of this plays into what you're talking about, what we're all talking about, the way it is. But you understand the why, because then you can look for if there's change or if there's not. So then where are you going to put your time?
Yeah.
You know what your problem is, Darren?
What?
You think sensibly.
Thank you.
You should be right, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Here's why you're wrong, because people, the tragedy in Vegas, it was bad. But damn it, when I saw Green Bay play, Aaron Rodgers wasn't out there on the field. So that pisses me off even more.
Well, because your fantasy team got screwed,
That's
right?
what's wrong with us.
But Terry, because your fantasy team got screwed.
Right.
No, but for whatever, which is why I'm wrong, which I agree with you, right? Which
You're
I
wrong,
should
but
be
you're
right.
right.
But the good thing here, the beauty is, and this is what I always say, thank God I'm Michigan's favorite stepson, and it's this state because for more times than not, common sense when it comes down to the real, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what? So if we keep it to arguing about these little things as far as this coach and stuff like this, but we take care of each other, right? Which is I'm here because of the vote for the cannabis, you look at we're sitting here, gambling's legal. Be you, do you in more terms than not. But again, institutionally, is the world, right? So you got to look at the top instead of why things have to change. It's not just the one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the glaring thing because it affects us, and it affects us today, now, everything else.
Chris says Michigan doesn't get a big non-conference game until Oklahoma in 2024, I believe. 2024, they play Texas. They're at Texas. Fresno
That's a
State.
good one. That's smart
Spider-Man
scheduling,
Bowl.
too.
You know what it is? Two fake programs playing each other.
Absolutely.
Texas and Michigan.
Fresno State, Arkansas State, and they're at Texas. Then the following year in 2025, they're at Oklahoma.
Whoa.
So, that's with New Mexico and Central Michigan in 2025.
All right. Hey, you know what? Play Central Michigan every year because we could use that money. Central Michigan has used money to play Michigan, Alabama, to build a baseball stadium, to build a softball stadium, to put a down payment on their basketball arena. So play the chips every year, damn it. We could use the money.
But that's awesome to hear, though, Terry, because then that's the reason why the Hawaiis are playing and all the behind the scenes of helping it out. But there should be, why can't, when you're reading me those off, that there's one Chips game, then there's one Oklahoma game, and then there's one sort of somebody up and coming a Kentucky or like somebody that
you know the answer to that.
I know, but
why play Hawaii when you can play Eastern Michigan, who's begging for money and they're right down the road?
No, I get it, but it should be like A, B, C. You know what I'm saying, for different reasons, and I know why.
Colorado State, Hawaii,
they did
and
it,
UConn.
And then all of a sudden
East
you got
Carolina.
Appalachian State coming in and running your show and ruining everything.
East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green. You know why?
I know.
The coach, the situation they're in, the landscape they're in. And Mr. CEO says, fire him if he goes 10-2 and goes to the Rose Bowl. Dear God, LOL. No, because I wouldn't have had to fire him because I'd have fired him already. Because I was told that Nick Saban's on notice. Like, you guys know it. You guys know my stances. You know it is.
You were told me that in the last life.
Yeah.
You told me that in our last life.
My point is this, Terry. If you're Michigan, you go take someone.
Right.
You want Saban or you want Dabo or whoever you want, you go take them. You're Michigan. But see, then
they don't want to spend that money.
Well, wait a minute. I was told that Michigan prints money, their athletic department.
They do, but they don't want to spend it. Not on they don't want to get into a big money bang with Alabama or LSU or any of those SEC teams, because they'll say, okay, 10 million, we're going 11. 11 million, we'll go 12. So they just keep going up and up, and then all of a sudden, teams up. And it's not just Michigan, but Michigan State, all these teams, they'll back down and say, okay, we just can't do it.
Okay, then what are we talking about?
They're
here?
more serious about football down there than we are up here. That's what I'm talking about.
That's my point.
Okay.
We just took the long way, Terry. We took the long way, but here we are, and we're here together. Damn it.
Cool.
I knew that we would get here together.
Well, that's because you know why, guys? Because that's football. And we all know that as guys, we're a simple bunch. We like Sunday football in the field of the remote control in the palm of our hand. We like things uncomplicated. The Michigan State conversation, the Jim Harbaugh, it's always going to be complicated. But Lady Jane's haircuts aren't. Lady Jane's for men. Walk in, sit down, and before you know it, your hair is game ready. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We are Big D Energy, Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, T. Foss in today. Join us. Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates unbelievably low, the stakes to find your new home have never been higher. And that's why Hall Financial's exclusive realtor network allows us to connect you with a top-rated realtor in your area, making sure you take on the housing market and win. Hall Financial has earned over 4,000 five-star reviews because of our technology and our commitment to closing your loan fast. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Back at here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, T. Foss in the house as well. Fish in the bowl. My guy Sawyer on the ones and twos. Happy to have you along for the ride. You in the rest of this week, Terry?
Mostly, yes.
Mostly? Okay, gotcha. I'll be on the road with Oakland University. College basketball season starting tomorrow. Some big-time games going on.
Where's the first road trip?
Oakland will be at West Virginia tomorrow. Take on Bob Huggins in West Virginia.
I believe that Stick will be here for a couple days filling in. Joink will be back.
T-Foss will be rolling through. All right, my people.
I'll be the consistent. No one's taking my chair.
You'll be the glue.
We'll keep her. We'll keep your ship. We might have to give you the keys and go into sail mode right now and just float around until you're back. But that's got to be. When was the last road trip that you were on?
I mean, last season, in March Madness, Oakland was in the Horizon League championship game in Indianapolis.
So it's you guys know this from.
Do you have a favorite stop in the Horizon League? Because it's not
Chicago, like everybody else.
Loyola,
UIC.
Oh, UIC.
Illinois, Chicago. Yeah,
Milwaukee's
cool. We were talking about Milwaukee earlier, T-Foss.
Yes, we did.
I'm a big fan of Milwaukee.
How about not because of the city, but because of the venue?
Because of the venue, Milwaukee's another one too. Because Wisconsin-Milwaukee plays in the old Milwaukee Bucks arena.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool, like going in there, and just being in that old building and stuff like that. So that's pretty sweet.
I've only been to one stop in Horizon, and it stunk. Wright State.
Yeah. I'm not a big, just Dayton, and they have a very good whiskey bar, though, in Dayton. I will say that.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So that's all right. Like, I like that. But, I'm not a huge fan of going to Youngstown. But, they can't all be great, or else none of them will be great. But, ready to go. Golden Grizzlies at West Virginia tomorrow. I'll have the radio call at 7 o'clock. Friday night at Oklahoma State. So we have the...
All right, should be fun. I've been there, West Virginia. Had a good time.
Yeah, Morgantown's a cool town. So a lot of those college towns. Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, that's
awesome.
That's a good town. We all know that. You gotta know that's a great town. When they have a bar in Scottsdale called Madison's, just because and it's by guys from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin has a bar in their student union. You can get beer there. At least you could back when I was doing stuff.
Yeah, that was the middle 1900s.
Naki23 says, Neal, who told you that? Name names. I bet everything you hear is from the media. No, I was doing a radio show with this guy right here the day he was hired. And we took, 60 calls that day?
At least.
What percentage of those said that they were going to win national titles?
99.5. One guy wasn't sure, but he thought so. And he put a gun to his head. But no, the best thing was Saban on notice. That was if I took a poll, that Nick Saban's on Alabama are officially on notice.
Yeah.
That was 7 years ago.
David Mentier says, go Grizzlies. Yeah, David, appreciate it, man. So go ahead and give the broadcast a listen if you get a chance. Clomsaw says, Morgantown is great. Lived in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. We go play shows there all the time. Morgantown is cool. A guy like Terry Foster, a guy like you would do very well in Morgantown.
I actually did very well down there. My only trip there, I met a little West Virginia student and ended up spending the weekend with her at her parents' house.
I love those stories.
I do too, man. I do too.
They gave me like a little bedroom in the basement, and they sent her down there. So, hey. Because they looked at me, they said,
listen, full service, bro.
Yeah, full service.
Some of those bed and breakfasts
are
full
city
service.
Slicker here. Go for it, honey.
Yeah, full service. The Red Wings were full service this weekend. They picked up a couple of big wins, and they answered the bell, DMac, when I saw that they were kind of teetering on the brink a little bit. Old Tyler Bertuzzi and everybody, they reined it back in. Big win against Buffalo, and I thought an even bigger win yesterday against Vegas.
Spoiler alert. Pucking Around Wednesday will be Tyler Bertuzzi, because I think what you've seen after this weekend, even more so of me talking about it, is the influence that he has not only in the locker room but on the ice. I think that Buffalo game is, and what are you seeing? You're seeing the ebbs and flows of what I said of the season, but that Buffalo game didn't look good. I think that Alex Nedeljkovic kept them in the game and even 3-1, but you're watching here for the people at home is that these guys never quit, and scoring goals from the hard areas, and I can't say it enough, but just being Johnny on the spot, and this goal was probably the biggest goal of the weekend to get them back, and then you look to make it 3-2, and just using the skill. I mean, right there, I show you that one because that's a nifty, right, one-on-one move where he puts it between the D's stick and skates and goes in and scores. I'm going to show you one at the end that might be a little bit better, and probably the vote for a goal of the year by Connor McDavid. But ties it up 3-3, and then how else would you not love for Mo Sider to not only, right there, you're watching defense, but Mo Sider then to get his first NHL goal, and obviously being so effective. But right here, there it is, as an OT winner. You're going to see this for years and years to come. Maybe not so much the OT winners, but just the effectiveness, on the ice, which led into yesterday's game, which led into Vegas. And I think what you see is the confidence playing home and home, and coming back at home. And, the smarts, and obviously the power play, but you look at the goal here, how Tyler Bertuzzi finds Lucas Raymond. Again, remember what I mentioned when we did Pucking Around with Lucas Raymond? That hot spot zone, right? You have that guy on the right side, right here's a better angle, and bingo, bango, right in the net here. And then, you're not only need that balanced scoring because Lucas Raymond, who we said is topside's a 40-goal guy and stuff like this, but it's your workhorse, your energy, your stuff like this, your Nemesnikov. Well, I want to show you this goal because it doesn't have to always be through 8 sticks. Beautiful backdoor pass. It could be just getting it on the net. And you know what? I like to call those anything around the goal line or behind. Those are Shanahan's, because he's been known to bank them in on guys. But, so they get back on the ice with the home stand. It's nice to always win to give you confidence coming back home. But again, they're battling with consistency. But I'm happy with what the Wings did this weekend because they took care of business. And, that's that team that can fight for the playoffs, is fight for that consistency. So we're hoping that Dylan Larkin, still out for personal reasons, gets back in the lineup. But this is what we were talking about, Neal, at the end of last week about different guys stepping up, and they've got that.
When you look at it in our YouTube chat thread, the Calder Award is a 2-horse race between Raymond and Sider. Would you agree with that? Well,
right now it's too early to tell because it's bad. It's the consistency, but with right now the way that it's going, and that's a no-brainer. You have, and talking to Chris Draper and stuff like this, and just watching with what we guys coming up with this year's first rounder, between Berger and down the minors and Irvinson defenseman, you possibly have Sider and Irvinson as your 1 and 2 for 12, 15 years, right? So it's just watch these guys grow and get better, and what they need is consistency.
And they could use a guy like Connor McDavid because he was on.
Did you see this, Terry?
He was on some silly stuff.
Did you see Connor McDavid's goal?
I know. I know. Sorry.
I'm going to play this a bunch of times. Now, for the listening audience, you have to go look at Connor McDavid's goal. Now, I just want you to watch the explosiveness. And somebody said, not only did he take this puck, have to wait for a guy to get onside and button hook inside the red line, right? It's the explosion at the high speed that he does that. Now, we had an alumni game on Saturday afternoon, right? And I asked Jason Woolley, he's one of the best skaters I know, could you do that? And he said, hell yeah. Without the puck, right? So the fact he kept it on the skate, but you watch as somebody put to the point, there's 4 guys here, and the way that he just dogs the goalie.
Those are grown men that drive nice cars, that make lots of money, that are good at what they do.
Why didn't the Rangers try to stop him or hit him or whatever? And I go, they tried.
They couldn't catch him.
It's the fact what makes him so good. And
but don't you get cussed out for that?
What?
The Ranger coach, don't they cuss these dudes out for letting this dude go through 4 guys?
Then you know what they're gonna say, right? We're all the reality, right? Because this guy, right, is Superman. It's tackle him, take a penalty. He's gonna finish it off. Most guys would try to do that and not have that ability. What he does, Terry, right, is you're not gonna get cussed out. It's gonna be one of these Barry Sanders just broke your leg or twisted your knee, Rod Woodson, and blew it out. Are you going to give him crap for taking the wrong angle? No. You're going to tell him, take the penalty next time. But there's former Red Wing Patrick Nemeth right here, which he just gets. And you see, the one thing is the right defenseman in the white might have should have grabbed him. once he saw he was beat. You don't want to do that. But the fact that he did it at such high speed, you can't get him. I'm trying to make that a point. The point is that try to stop him all you want and know he's going to do that. You can't. That's how good this kid is.
Yeah, I mean, that dude is just different, man. Different. The difference between Connor McDavid and the second best player in the NHL is bigger, Terry, than any difference in any other sport in North America. He's the best athlete in North American sports.
I still cuss my defenseman out. I don't care. Somebody's got to try to bust him up.
Yeah.
No, I understand. They did.
I hear
They
you.
did. So next time, take the penalty.
Yeah.
Take the penalty. Next time, don't go for the puck. Trip his eye. Trip
Right.
his butt, Like that's the whole thing, right? Where it happens, and you don't like to watch that and go boom. And we talked about that, where you said that, you know what? Somebody said, Wayne Gretzky, or you might have something to say about it. Well, you'll be able to hear Wayne Gretzky because I'm sure he's going to break it down on TNT.
Yeah.
And he's the first one that will tell you. Somebody said he stole my move, and I said, no. I was born at 25 years early. It's his move. The fact that how he does it is he button hooks, waits, then sees, and boom, explodes. Chop, inside out. See, Thomas Holmstrom could stick handle through there, but he couldn't get there in the amount of time that it took.
This is the greatest player since Wayne Gretzky. This is the greatest player since Wayne Gretzky.
As great as Sid the Kid is, this guy's another
He's
level
another
to
level.
do it. Now, and they're still different. And Sidney Crosby, I'd take on my team in a second. But he's just bigger, could do it faster. And when he learns that two-way game that Sid learned to win championships, you might see that in Edmonton.
So when is the NHL going to take him out of Edmonton so he can be more marketable?
That's the thing. And here's the thing, too. And I'll exclude DMac from this comment. This in no way reflects Darren McCarty's views or opinions. My concern is Ken Holland in Edmonton in a cap era. That's my concern. Because you look at the candy he's given away in the past, Terry. Things change. When the salary cap hit, things change. Is that fair?
Sure, it's fair.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Right, you only have so long, whatever the contract terms is with him now, and you look at what the team he's putting around him. He signed Ken Holland, signed Zach Hyman, signed Warren Fogle, getting more production from the second line. Darnell Nurse is stepping up. They're getting goaltending, so it's the win now. They are the Los Angeles Rams of the NHL. Them in Colorado, but Colorado just locked guys up, so they got a little bit more time. But Edmonton's got a win now mentality, so he doesn't have to worry about, right? He doesn't have to worry about the future like he did. So right now could be like 2011, 12 or whatever, where he's got to make that choice. Are you going to go back or 8, 9, whatever with the Wings and not worry about the future, how it will affect Edmonton? The question is after this, if they don't win and it blows up this team, will it have that Ken Holland effect?
Yes, and that's what we'll have to see. Connor McDavid right now signed until 25-26. He's on an 8-year, $100 million contract. He will be a free agent at 29. He's special, man. He is, dude. That guy is just built different, man. He is. When we come back, we'll take a look around college football, NFL. I'll revisit the Get Right pick because I owe you guys an apology on that one, and I'll wear it. I'll look right into that camera, and I'll wear it. All that and more. We're coming down the final stretch. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house. Fish is here, Sawyer's here. It's on and popping. There is no doubt about that as we come down final couple segments of the show. And we'll just kind of recap what went on around the world of football. The Lions had as productive as a bye week as you can have in my mind. They have really got some separation between them and the rest of the league. And I saw this one going on around the social media channels. The bye week picking up their first win.
That was a tough game.
Well, late field goal by the bye week to beat the Detroit Lions. LOL, LOL, LOL. Guys, I can take it. I can take 17 weeks worth of it, Terry. I can take it all. I'm cool.
But I'm telling you bring in OBJ, it's going to guarantee on 17.
Now, I'll say this, Terry. If you make me that promise, like this were fantasy football,
right,
then I would do it.
Okay.
If he's going to take, I think what Lions got, what, 3 million-ish?
He'll tear up that locker room.
What, you got breaking news from Corey Woods? What do you?
They signed OBJ?
Here, grab the mic. Grab the mic.
Yeah. All right.
Leave me in.
Oh, talking to the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll bend on down in here.
Yeah.
You know,
Boys to men, he's on bended knee.
I thought they was going to switch. So he asked for his release, and he got it. The Detroit Lions have released Darren Fells. He's going tight end Darren Fells. He's going to go on waivers later on today. With him going on waivers, that looks like Brock Wright will be elevated from the practice squad. Dan Campbell will be talking later on today, but Darren Fells did ask for his release. It's something that pretty much a lot of people expected. He was a healthy scratch in the game against the Eagles, so that's where we're at right now. The Lions will have a free roster space open. Not sitting up here saying that's going to be an OBJ, but I think the writing is on the wall with what OBJ talked about. He wants to go to a contender.
Right.
Looking at either the Bills or the Seahawks would be his favorite. But Darren Fells out in Detroit.
All right. I mean, he was on the 1 year. I appreciated Corey Woods. Follow his work.
Right, can I say something?
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. That's fine. You know, he was on a 1 year deal anyway. 1 year, about $1 million. Whatever.
When Corey comes back and says the Lions signed OBJ, then that'd be big news.
No, it's not happening, Terry.
I know it's not happening, nor should it happen.
Nor should it happen.
But if it does, 0-17 guaranteed.
I would take it then, Terry. I would, for real. Whatever it takes to get that 117.
Ravage the body, whatever's left of him.
Yep. Lions right now have $1.3 million in cap space this year. There is a lot of dead money on this roster right now. Lot of dead money, dead cap, and you still got $19 million of Stafford salary on your dead cap this year. Whew, that is a big number.
May as well use it this year. You're not going anywhere anyway.
$60 million in dead cap right now, but it's part of the purge.
Sure,
it's part of the purge. It has to be done, guys, and that's why I'm not interested in adding anyone. Let's bottom this thing out, strip it down to the studs. It's the only way. And all the draft capital that you can get. But as you go around the NFL, we'll start with Terry. I mean, anything jump out to you nationally in the National Football League? Anything you see?
Green Bay leaving Jordan Love out to dry.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, but you knew they were going to do that since day one when Aaron Rodgers stuff and how much they don't like him. And, I mean, do you not get that feel? It feels like, unwanted child or something. Like I don't know how to put it, but it doesn't seem like they protect him, and for being a first rounder and stuff like this, he definitely, let's just say they don't have the Aaron Rodgers late in the first round pick.
They don't, but you got to prepare that guy. Aaron Rodgers is a huge chance he's not coming back next year. He's gonna, he might.
No, I think, Terry, that what they showed you is that they're done. They were done before he even started a game. That's
they knew
because they had to. He's gone. He's another Josh Rosen, and he's out.
True, but it makes no sense for Green Bay to become the Detroit Lions. Prepare your quarterback. Let them know you love him, because Aaron Rodgers is going to walk at the end of the season.
But I
anyway.
don't think. But I'm saying he ain't their quarterback.
No.
So that's why they're not putting the time in, Terry.
And I know you can't write a dude off after one game. I understand that. But it just didn't look like it was there.
He was wrote off in training camp.
Yeah.
He was wrote off by everybody saying this kid ain't ready. Remember we were saying Aaron Rodgers' biggest bargaining tool is the fact that they have Jordan Love and they have to go to Jordan Love, and that's a benefit to Aaron Rodgers' bargaining chip. He's not coming back. That's he's not coming back unless things change a lot, but they're moving on. The new quarterback of next year's quarterback for the Packers, right? Maybe Aaron Rodgers, but if it's not, is not Jordan Love.
Well, you know, they showed that last night. Did you see what Jordan Love's woman and his mama was sitting? They're in the last row end zone of the stadium.
No.
Yep, way up in the sky.
Way up.
From what I'm
hey,
hearing,
writing on the wall. I'm a guy that knows that's seen writing on
Some
the wall.
bum off the
before,
streets could have got better tickets.
I'm just saying. Dude,
Wow.
those are the small things.
What do you got, Fish?
from what I'm hearing, that's where Aaron Rodgers' family sits. So I guess because Aaron Rodgers obviously wasn't.
Aaron Rodgers' family doesn't talk to him. So Fish, that even goes show more.
So I guess since Aaron Rodgers obviously couldn't play, they decided to give Jordan Love's family his tickets, which are virtually in the sky.
Dom Rivera says in our YouTube chat there, we just need the Texans to win one game so that Neal can root for just one win for the Lions. If it's mathematically locked up in the last week, then I'll get on board. And it's against the Packers, too. And it'll be Aaron Rodgers' last regular season game with the Packers.
Staying in that, though, that game, Patrick Mahomes doesn't look right.
They're broken, man. They are. That offensive line just is not there.
And then the biggest surprise, obviously, at home with Dak coming back, but the Cowboys. That was more reality. I think, Michael Irvin might be putting a Super Bowl ring in his pocket a little bit, but they just weren't ready. And the Broncos came out, they ran it down their throat, and that surprised me more than anything.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
I think Patrick Mahomes is trying to do the impossible on every play. I mean, you can't score 2 touchdowns on one play, and he'll be in the grasp of somebody and just throw the ball up, and he is not efficient with his play right now.
Benjamin Foe says that was a vintage Matt Stafford performance last night. And what about that, too? I mean, it was daylight savings time, so I was cashed out by about 9:45, but I did see that wretched interception that he threw. And what do you know, Terry? They play a team with a winning record.
Yeah, Benjamin must not have been listening when you went and sort of backhand slapped Stafford all around the beginning, because I don't know what talk about fanboys. We're reality accountability, and Neal went to sleep at 9:15 after Stafford threw the second pick because he knew what was happening. Why?
Well,
because he's seen it before. So that's is that playoff Stafford? That's what we've seen. Because that's the first time McVay has seen Stafford not succeed, right? Everything's been hunky-dory, and even though they lost earlier on to the champs, they still put up points. Yesterday they struggled, right? So what is the conversation this week? Because it's the first time it hasn't gone well. It's interesting to see how they bounce back, or what McVay, the confidence level is there, right? Because that's the first.
What it does, I think, with McVay, it puts that little seed of doubt. Because when Stafford was there, we're talking about him being the MVP. The Rams were like, okay, we're all set. We're cool. This is wonderful. But I think a performance like that makes you think, okay, what's going to happen when the playoffs begin? Because we brought him here to win playoff games.
Well, isn't it the old, now I see what everybody's talking about, because you hear all the stuff about what we hear in Detroit, whether it's media, what they say about Matthew Stafford, tough as heck, but whatever, can't win the big game against the big team. Now he's proved it as part of their team. They haven't seen it before. It's only been hearsay. Now they're a part of it. How does this change? Does it? Who knows?
Well, again, for Stafford, it comes down to a one-game season, Terry. What does he do in that playoff game? It is a one game, for right or for wrong. That's what it is with him, and that's how he'll be judged.
Absolutely.
If he loses that playoff game, then what's different?
If he can't win with the Rams, there's no way he was going to win with the Lions. So,
but do you know what the thing is, man? That Tennessee defense is really, really good, and they were in the backfield all night. You know what Matt Stafford needed last night, which you can have? He needed a guardian alarm, because they get it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure, Matthew. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke and carbon monoxide right from this little bad boy right here. So, if you want to get involved, all you have to do is call 1-800
Stay out.
1-800
Stay out.
One more time for the people in the back. 1-800.
Stay out.
Get out of my house.
Get out of Fish's house. Stay out of Terry's neighborhood. Whatever it is. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years to keep families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. We're Big D Energy. Terry Foster, Neal Roll, Darren McCarty will be back for the last segment here at Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Final segment of the show here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Terry Foster in the house. And I was flipping through the social medias yesterday and came across this post on the old Darren McCarty official Facebook, where he's got the old Upper Deck trading card, and he said, caption this photo.
Blow the bubble.
Yeah, absolutely. So my caption was, maybe one day, if I'm lucky, I'll get to do a talk show with Neal Rule. And
See,
what do you
guys,
know?
Look at manifest your reality. I can say that was like 30 years ago when I was out there chewing gum, blowing bubbles, just thinking about that. That's when you wonder what the guys think about in warm-up when they're waiting to go for their turn. It's things like that. So the fact, could you imagine? I never even said to work with Neal Rule, but then to have the professor T.
Foss too.
Unreal, unreal. So kids, manifest your own reality. You don't even need the gum. Helps. But it helps me think. So
little did you know that lifting a Stanley Cup 4 times would be like the second coolest thing you do.
Absolutely. But I'm always trying to up it, like it is. It might be the third.
Now, I know you were out at LCA last night. A lot of people having a lot of fun, too, as well. You're out there engaging with the fans and signing the autographs and meeting everybody, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely doing that. Jason Willett, Game Day Live. But I wanted to send a shout out there. Obviously, you can see I'm in the middle, but there's Tammy Chin with the Bertuzzi jersey on the left, and Aunt Jackie. There's Aunt Jackie. Gave me Reese's Pieces and Smarties right in front of me. Love you, Aunt Jackie. Anyways, the Red Wings women, or the women of the Red Wings on Facebook. Tammy just started a couple weeks ago. I think there's like 400 members now, but those are some of the ladies that were down there, and I was signing autographs, doing the stuff. So always want to, when I'm down at LCA, just always great to see everybody and everybody that met. So, yeah, and then there is at the Stalls game the other day. That was a great picture, my friend Jen Reed.
Nice hat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then one of the guys on the other team asked me, he says, why don't you wear that hat during the game? And I had to explain to him, because it's because you're not responsible enough for me not to wear a helmet, right? Mickey Redmond doesn't wear a helmet, but that's because he's Mickey Redmond. Me, I might fall down, but the sticks are up a little bit high. And so that's my warm-up gear. But a lot of fun putting the gear back on when they make me.
Yeah.
Yep.
You still get into that?
It's one of those things that, you get into, and it's funny because we're sitting there before in the dressing room and talking to Jason Woolley and sitting beside Malachi, and, we're talking. Al Frady's there. He's telling some jokes. So we're laughing. But then Brian Smolitsky walks in and smokes. And it was all of a sudden he lights the room up because it's like, one of those guys that comes in and you're just happy to see him. You don't get to see him once in a while, but then you sort of get excited to play. The excitement is to be around the boys, to be helping, the Michigan Warriors, to be helping the Stalls guys, doing the community stuff. But then when you get out there, you get the juice going a little bit. So, yeah, it is. It's the least. I'd rather do this, or I'd rather golf or wrestle or do stuff like that, but you get me out there. I old habits die hard.
No, I got it. I do have to take a minute and say, hey guys,
Bubblicious all day, Mike.
Yeah, sorry.
Double.
As far as the get right pick went, T. Foss, I failed the people. I didn't get the job done.
I'm kind of sick and tired of this.
What do you mean sick and tired? We're 500.
That's not winning money for people.
I know you're right. Hey,
every
Terry,
time I'm out here, you
right.
have that puppy dog look on your face. Hey guys, I told you to take Alaska Fairbanks. over Nevada Reno, but just didn't work out.
I didn't get the job done, man. I told everyone to roll with Nevada, given 10 to San Jose State at home. They were up 10 in the second half, but couldn't close the door. And I knew, and you guys know I prefaced it by saying Nick Starkel was questionable on the injury report. I didn't think he was going to play. And Terry, you ever get that feeling in your stomach? I saw him run out there on the field, and I was like, oh, boy.
Oops.
Yeah, we're wrong about this one. They did get up 10 in the second half, but they couldn't close the door. And, again, I got to be better than that. I'm the first one to tell you guys. I know I got to be better than that. 500's not getting the job done. We got to be better. We will bounce back strong.
Well, you sound like an NFL coach. I got to be better.
I do have to be better.
He's got to be better because you know what? He's resting on his. You know how you go back to the well of looking at the statistics or maybe listening to reading this guy's column or he's been good or whatever like that. He's got to take because you know what? He's just been listening to the wrong person or people or reading the wrong thing. And the statistic that we know with the salary cap and this, he always puts it on the travel and he always puts it on the bus ride. You know what? I think he's going to take that and economics and the fact that if they eat McDonald's at the truck stop before, that might fire some of them up, right? Didn't Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, he ate McDonald's every day of his NFL career. So you got to not worry about the truck stop food.
Got to be better. What do you got, Fish?
Too much on busting in last week.
Yep.
College football has a few weeks left. What are you going to do for college basketball? You going to do something similar like Saturday night Mountain West again for basketball or Pac-12? Or
that's all kinds of games.
No, that's in his Fish, I'll answer that my client does not need. He's going to take the fifth on that because he's involved. He is not even going to go into the basketball world because that's just something that.
Okay, so it's just college
football.
College
football
just
on the late game because he's an insomniac and he's got some sick thing with San Jose State. Have you guys not figured it out?
He covers basketball.
Hey, you were almost right with the Anchorage, Alaska. Right? You were almost right.
We played against Anchorage, Alaska.
It's San Jose State.
Yes, indeed.
San Jose State is his.
And Hawaii.
Yeah.
He did get an extra hour of sleep on Saturday or Sunday.
I did. And I was trying to sleep it
high-low.
Now, what I would do is the college basketball, you guys know how much I'm digging into the facts and everything else and all that, so you might want to listen to my college picks.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. So again, my apologies there. I got to be better. I will be better, Terry. I will be.
Okay.
I promise you I will be. We played Alaska Anchorage in the 2017 Alaska Shootout.
Okay.
They were tough, man.
I'm sure they were.
Beat them by 8.
They're probably a little pissed off they're living in Alaska. So they're going to be tough.
I wasn't a fan, T-Foss. Like, you talk about daylight savings. Think about daylight savings time every day of your life. That's what it is there. The sun comes up at about 10 in the morning, and it never comes up. It's like a summer night at 9. From 10 to 2. That's the only time the sun's out.
Have you guys seen documentaries on Alaska? Because they are fascinating. Like that, I was going to call it a country. That whole state is fascinating. Because it's basically in Canada. I mean, it's touching Canada.
Thanks a lot, Fish.
Y'all should have claimed Alaska. How did the United States get Alaska?
We bought it. Seward's Folly, remember? He paid like, $2 million for it or something like that? And people laughed. And look at all the oil that's there.
What year was that?
It became a state in 1959, I think it was, or 57, something like that.
Darren, you should ask for that back, man.
South Detroit, baby. I'm born and raised in South Detroit, so that's like
right.
That's that part of Canada. We're so far away they don't even consider me American.
Robert, Neal's also quiet about Hawaii losing to the Aztecs today. I'm just saying, Hawaii covered the number at closing. It was 7.5. I'm just saying. So, depending on, we are live at the MyBookie studios, so those people that took advantage of the Woodward deposit bonus, if you took that hook, and it just clicked right before kickoff, that little hook, that 7.5. You give me 7.5 at Hawaii at home, I'll take it whoever they're playing. Remember, Terry, Michigan State went out there and caught them hands.
Yes, indeed.
They did. It's hard to go out there, man.
Because you're so relaxed and having such a good time out there, you don't feel like playing basketball.
No.
Well, they got you from sun up to sundown with the weather.
Yep. Chuck Brewer says Russia sold it to us. Well, T-Foss, you'll be in the house at different times this week. So
I think Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. There you go. Stick will be here. DMac will be here. Joik will be back as well. Appreciate everybody interacting with the show, watching the show. I'm going to get out of here, go to Morgantown, Oakland at West Virginia tomorrow at 7, among other big-time college basketball games. But appreciate everybody involved once again.
Deuces.
We'll be back tomorrow. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.